Okay, the negative argues that in our subpoint A, that same-sex couples are considered family members when it comes to immigration issues, but even a family member can still be deported. And along with that, that's only one of the issues that we brought up that he's addressing. We had a list of things that same-sex couples do not have that married heterosexual couples do. And he doesn't address any of those. He also says that it will not solve the suicide issue because there's stress is the main reason why people commit suicide. And we're not saying that marriage will solve the issue of suicide completely. Obviously, there's a million reasons why someone would commit suicide, but what we're saying is that marriage will allow for acceptance of same-sex couples, which will decrease their stress, which is what they're saying causes suicide. So the link is there. We're not linking marriage straight to suicide. We're linking marriage to social acceptance, which will decrease suicide. In their 2NC, they say in subpoint A that less people are getting married, and in subpoint B that in California divorce rates are up. I don't see how this is a disadvantage of allowing same-sex couples to get married. All it's saying is that today a lot of people are choosing not to be married, but that doesn't really say why we shouldn't allow same-sex couples to marry. I mean, if other people don't want to get married, that's fine, but if you have two people that love each other and want to be married, why shouldn't they be married? She also goes on to say that traditionally, marriage is between a man and a woman, and if we make it between same-sex couples, it will eventually diminish marriage. I have a quote here that says, "Tradition cannot be an argument if we've already allowed for civil unions." And this is Theodore B. Olson in January 2010. "The explanation mentioned most often is tradition, but simply because something has always been done a certain way does not mean that it must always remain that way. Otherwise, we would still have segregated schools and debtors' prisons. Gays and lesbians have always been among us, forming a part of our society, and they have lived as couples in our neighborhoods and communities. For a long time, they have experienced discrimination and even persecution, but we as a society are starting to become more tolerant, accepting, and understanding. California and many other states have allowed gays and lesbians to form domestic relationships or civil unions with most of the rights of married heterosexuals. Thus, gay and lesbian individuals are now permitted to live together in state-sanctioned relationships. It therefore seems anomalous to cite tradition as a justification for withholding the status of marriage and thus to continue to label those relationships as less worthy, less sanctioned, or less legitimate." So this is just the last step to equality for all. And tradition there's no reason why tradition should be cited because we've already changed what we already view as the traditional marriage before.